UN chief calls for an end to $7 trillion in fossil fuel subsidies.
This post received a score of 15,000, with an upvote ratio of 95%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Billionaires hate this plan.
I wish there was an app that could log your purchases and advise you on which businesses and products to stay away from, so to not support climate and people abusing owners.
They all merger companies together. There used to be roughly a dozen companies for each type of business. Now there's about 2 or 3. Monopoly laws have been blatantly ignored for decades. So good luck being able to distance yourself from those that abuse.
And they merge companies that aren't even necessarily in the same field. Don't want to support that evil media giant. Surprise, it also owns your cereal.
Yeah, well, an army of well-paid lobbyists sent from the billionaire class will squash that idea. It's wild, because I think we can all agree fossil fuels make money and thus don't need to be encouraged through subsidies. There isn't a version of government that could justify these subsidies. The argument is that some parts of the industry are not profit-making, such as exploration or decommissioning. So the government subsidizes those in order to generate more of the profit-making bit in the middle, which they can tax. In theory, the country ends up better off than if they had to import gas, and all the profit was made in another country. This is a pretty wild reach for such a massive subsidy. Nearly every industry has expenses that eventually lead to profits. The government doesn't need to be treating every industry as if it's a Series A startup.
Any party or president that actually tried to implement a cut to these subsidies would be crushed politically. You would be blamed for rising prices, it would be political suicide. These companies are untouchable, the world is fucked.
Fuck that. Trump showed that political red lines are out the window. And fossil fuels are going down fr.
If gas prices jump to $10 per gallon, you better believe Biden is going to lose to whoever is on the Republican ticket promising to reinstate the subsidies and promise $3 gas.
But how will the record-breaking profitable companies survive? Build a grocery store.
Allow me to introduce you to a term called regulatory capture.
When buying and selling are controlled by legislation, the first things to be bought and sold are legislators. P.J. O'Rourke.
It's amazing. Record profits around the globe and they need subsidies. How is this still ongoing?
Greater than they need subsidies? They included undercharging for supply costs, undercharging for environmental costs, foregone consumption taxes and broader externalities associated with fuel use, to get to that number. The numbers are basically made up by saying the social cost to the environment is not being paid as part of the pricing scheme. Think labor should be paid more. That is a subsidy. Traffic jams. That is a subsidy. Air pollution. Subsidy. Climate change. Subsidy.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.